Hey there, it's Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Hollywood Racks CrossTrack 2-bike carrier, specifically the one for 1¼ and 2-inch hitches, because we have it on our 2015 Honda Civic here today. This Civic has an 1¼ hitch receiver. Its options for bike racks are limited, but within that, the CrossTrack is actually a really good option. I like it because it has a high weight capacity of 66 pounds, plus you don't even need to get the extra ramp with a Civic. It sits pretty low to the ground, so if you have your heavier electric bikes, you can just ramp this bike right on using the tray system of the bike rack itself. This holds onto your bike by the front and the rear hoops, so you have a really secure fit without spending a lot of time tightening down knobs. And another cool feature is that this does tilt away. So if you pull this lever right over here, this rack tilts down, and now we are in our tilted position. So people will do this if they needed to get into their trunk. So you could open up your trunk without tilting the rack away. However, you would not get very far. Here on the Civic, we can completely open the trunk. We even have space to get our larger items like these totes here without hitting the bikes. So that's going to be helpful because you can still tilt the rack away with the bikes on. Now, if you do have this fully loaded, it could get pretty hefty. You have a 66 pound per bike weight capacity, which adds up to a lot of pounds of bikes on your hitch. And with this bike in place, you can see how it is secured, how it sits behind the Civic. But if I needed to remove this bike real quick, what I could do is just press these buttons at the end. So I press this button, I push out, and this can go all the way down to the ground. For the front one, I don't need to go as far. I'm just gonna push it a little bit, just enough so the bike is loose, because now I can just roll the bike down, making sure everything's lined up. Get this down, right there. So if you do have your heftier bikes, this is gonna be a much easier experience than lifting it up and over masts that you might see on some of your more affordable bike racks. Now, the reason you could ramp down is because of those trays and how they are designed. So you have the tray is designed to fit different types of bike wheels, and you have that chock up front as well that gives you that extra stability. Now, if you had a smaller bike, this could fit well too. You just roll the bike back and forth to get to the right spot. You also have adjustable cradles. These cradles up here adjust up and down for different tire widths. So check out the full review right here at eTrailer if you are curious to see those different features. Now, another question some people tend to give or ask is this going to take up a lot of room behind the Civic? Well, quick answer is it's pretty normal for most 2-bike racks. If you were to measure from the bumper to the end of the rack, this would sit at about 35 inches or 3 feet, which is kind of a lot compared to the more compact, affordable racks that you'll see. But you can also make this a bit more compact on the road by easily folding it up. You have two options: tilted away like this, which doesn't make as much sense on the Civic, because when you fold it up completely, this fits very nicely behind the car. If you don't have bikes loaded up, I always recommend folding up your bike rack like this, just because this is what people are gonna see. You're gonna be more visible on the road, and you also take up less space. But with it up like here, you can see that you still have pretty much full visibility out of your rear window for if your bike is up in place. Now, coming on over here, let's talk about the space this now takes behind the car. So if we were to measure from the bumper, this time to the end of the rack, remember when I said 3 feet earlier? Well, this time, this takes up around 11 inches or almost 1 foot. That's a big difference compared to when it was in the down position. Some key notes here is that we have the 1¼ 2-inch version, so this does lock into the hitch. You do have a bolt that tightens down, making where this sits very nicely in there. So what I recommend doing is keeping around a 3/4 inch wrench to make sure this is always tight before you drive off and away, And if you don't yet have a hitch receiver, you can find one custom fit for your Civic right here at etrailer.com. So with all things being said, when you're looking for bike racks for your engine and core hitch on your Honda Civic, while the options are limited, this is a really good option. It has the same type of features that you will see on your larger, more premium racks. This is available for 2-inch hitches as well, but you're not really compromising for that smaller hitch receiver size. You still get all of that features and function at a pretty good price because Hollywood Racks does make quality items without charging so much for their name. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We have plenty of options for your vehicle. This is one of my favorites for smaller sedans. You saw the Hollywood Racks CrossTrack 2-bike platform rack. This is also available as a 1 bike, and you saw it here on a 2015 Honda Civic.